Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies, all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on roll, keep on smoking in the hallway. Now we got...
Hey everybody, we are back. I know y'all missed us last week, but you know folks had to celebrate their birthdays and so on. Adding them extras on the number there. He is officially a senior citizen.
Not yet.
You
What's
are
up, there? What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for joining in. What up? What up? We are back.
Yeah.
Yes, I took a little vacation, birthday celebrations, but we're back. So, what's up?
That's what's up. So glad to have y'all back. For those that are new, I am TK, the host of TK's Chronicles of a Black Sheep podcast. If you have not, please like, share, and subscribe.
Yep, and I am DJ, the co-host of TK's Chronicles of a Black Sheep podcast. Don't leave me out.
I wasn't. You didn't. I was giving instructions, and I was finna say you see how you just cut me out.
Please like and share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much.
That's what we're doing today.
Yes, ma'am. I'm excited. I missed you last week.
How you missed me last week and we talked every day?
Let's talk about our guest. Who we got riding with us tonight? Let's talk about that.
Yes, so we are definitely excited about this topic. I've actually been wanting to discuss this topic, but we couldn't find nobody. And of course, you know, DJ know everybody.
Mr. Social, Mr. Friendly, y'all know me. And the person, she is awesome. She's helped me a lot in a lot of aspects. I'll let her toot her own horn, but she is amazing, and I'm glad that she actually made time out of her busy schedule to do this. She actually set time aside for us. So let's bring her on up and let's talk about it.
All right, and we are bringing on Dr. Holly Williams.
Hey guys.
What's up, Doc?
Hey. Glad to be here. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity. I'm really humble.
Oh man, glad to have you. You know, I've been trying to get you on here for a couple of months now.
You have.
I was on my knees like, come on, Doc, please.
I was like, whoa, that's timing. But we here. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Definitely.
So for me personally, this particular subject, and Doc can tell you, I got some hesitations and some setback, but I'm working on it. I'm pushing myself to do better in this space, not just in relationships, but in friendships, family, all aspects. I am shedding down some walls. So we about to get this here going, and Doc has been helping me along the way for about a year or more now. Yeah. So yes. So,
okay.
TK. I don't know.
Well, I sure thank you for working with him because I know he a project, Lord. You got your work cut out for you.
You know, he give me some pushback sometimes. He give me a little bit pushback sometimes. He's like, I ain't ready to talk about that. And I tell him, you sit right there. Sit in it.
Yeah.
True story. Yeah. So it's not just
I have to do him like that too. So that's why I said I know what it is. So
I'm committed, though. I keep showing up. I am committed.
I love it.
That's good.
So we are dealing with intimacy. Breathe. We are dealing with intimacy, right? Now, the thing about that, well, go ahead, TK. I'm gonna sit back for a minute.
So as we are talking about this topic, let's be honest. For anybody that's watching, as soon as we said intimacy, what's the first thing popping y'all head?
Oh, well, you know what my mind was. Well,
I like that, Joe. That's you. That's the people that think outside of the norm. The typical is that 3-letter word is the first thing that normally comes to people's mind. And it's so much more than that. It's almost like making a cake. You got to have all your ingredients with this cake. It's not just that 3-letter word at all. So, do you want to start with the first
Well,
question? Because I know you got
see,
a whole little
this is new to
over
me
there.
though. So, like prior to meeting our awesome
Okay.
guest, Doc, I had that mindset as well. Like when you talk about intimacy, my mind went to one place. I did not consider the
Yep.
multi levels of actual intimacy. And even when she told me, like the first time, I was like, nah, like I literally was not trying to hear it. I had to apologize to her and thank her for pressing to get me to open up and literally see the different aspects of intimacy and how amazing it can be. And I had to apologize to her because I was not trying to hear it at all. And you know I can be stubborn at times.
Oh, I know what you are.
So let's let Doc, you want to talk a little bit? I mean, before we get a little, start delving off into this thing for real, for real.
I actually love what you said because people do bring up that 3-letter word all the time, and I just be looking like for real. But I can tell you because it is levels to intimacy. Physical intimacy is a part of it. Like you said, it's the recipe. And but it's not the only element that makes up intimacy. So when you look at, if I was to give you some types of intimacy, and I'm gonna read some of them off to you because I just kind of jotted down some because we can
So,
keep going, right?
before we do that, right?
Hmm.
Is is it a cultural gap? I guess.
I would not say that it's a cultural gap, but I would say that based on our culture, there are different experiences that we have based off of how
Mhm.
we live our lives. And we tend to be more focused like on the grind at times. So sometimes when it comes to intimacy, we're more about okay, let's make sure house, the home is taken care of, the kids is taken care of, I got my career done, I'm doing all these other things,
Mhm.
but we're not focusing on these type of things. So there's a hustle and grind that goes with our culture. That some people don't. It's like a flip reverse, I guess you could say. But
So just
eventually we get it if we want
yeah, eventually.
it.
Okay, okay. That's okay, okay, okay. All right, I
Yeah.
understand that. So it gets put on the back burner because of
Yeah,
everyday life.
it does. It really
Gotcha.
does. It really
All right.
does. And I think a lot of people who find themselves in a place where they may shun like therapy. And my thing is that although, I've done therapy for many years, for over 25 years, it's one of those things that you can do self therapy. I tell people all the time, you don't have to come see somebody like me. You could actually sometimes it can work if you do it for yourself. But you have to go through the process, and a lot of times people don't want to do the work.
Nope.
For me, the hard part was being honest with myself in a lot of aspects.
Absolutely.
So that self
Hmm.
therapy, because I'm just gonna try to put a band aid on myself and keep going. Like I'm the kind of person that needs that push.
That's
If I
it.
don't have that push, I'm gonna stay right there where it's nice and cozy.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah.
that's one of the strengths of working with a counselor, with a therapist, is because they will allow to pull what's already in you out. It's just a resource. It's a tool. And so
Mm,
it's like, okay, like I said, when I say, okay, he's dealing with something, sit right there, don't move, even if you have to be quiet, but hear
yeah.
me out. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes it's helpful in order for you to break the things and to help people to unlearn behavior. Very, very important.
Ooh,
Here we go.
that unlearning.
Yes.
Yeah.
No joke
So I
at
love this
all.
comment that Joe just said. He said, "Sex is the intimacy many are willing to find time for. The other stuff people will sacrifice for later." And that's exactly what Doc was talking
That's
about.
the detriment of the relationship right there.
That's good, John. All
Hmm.
right, go ahead. I'm gonna just be
Yeah.
quiet, talking too much.
Yeah. some of the intimacies that are very critical to relationships is emotional intimacy. You know, intimacy is all about understanding. It includes like discovering like the fears, like the hopes and the dreams. Like it gets into the details of those type of things. Intellectual intimacy. That's another one. Like, hey, intellectual, yes, intellectual. It gets you to a place where there's a clearer understanding. Like this is why
So
when those talks that we have, we can go deeper. We can develop the connection we need.
so emotional intimacy, I can understand that. I can see that. I can see that sharing and expressing those emotions. I could also see how it could be difficult depending on the type of emotion. But the intellectual intimacy, I want to ask a couple of questions. So is that what we're talking about? Like, let's say thoughts and ideas. Is that kind of or like how?
It will be because it's mental.
Oh, wow, smart. Okay.
It absolutely would be.
Okay.
Intellectual intimacy is mental. So it
Mm,
connects to your thoughts and your ideas. And so sometimes when people say, you know, they're deep thinkers, they're very analytical, different things like that, it can put you in that place. So there's a power in that intimacy if you're that type of person.
and that's the reason why, like, if I share an idea, and if she kind of shuts that idea down, then it kind of closes off that intimacy. Okay, because I've been in that
It
space
does.
before, and yeah,
It does.
okay.
Absolutely. There you go. There you go.
All right, okay, all right,
Take a
all
deep
right.
breath.
All right, let's work. All right.
There's
Emotional,
there's
intellectual.
also emotional. So we started with physical. Everybody was in agreement on that one. So we
Yeah.
started
Right.
with the physical. We know that's the one with the SDX in there. Um, the thing is that with that particular one, people have an idea that it is this great intimate space, but sometimes you're sharing that physical space with someone, and they really don't match in essence your level of intimacy in the physical space. So obviously, you could very well not be doing that one well as well, and that is a thing.
Woo,
Trust me, I've heard it all. I
woo.
have heard it all. So
So
yeah.
to me, if the emotional intimacy isn't there, then the physical intimacy is not going to want to follow. If you catch what I'm saying, it
For
it.
most women, think
I'm
about
talking
it.
about for me personally.
It's mental. Yeah, I'm just saying. Even for most women, though, it's a mental space. So if you don't have that connection, it physically you're not going to. So I can relate to what you're saying. I'm not a man, sir. I
Okay.
can't speak to you.
Okay,
That part.
Yeah,
not a man. I got you. Okay, all right.
yeah.
I
I
just
I
wanted to
can
ask.
get that.
Yeah,
That's a good thing. I think to be aware is the key.
yeah.
And you know that's one of the things that I actually teach is that people are not as self-aware that they need to be. When before we get into relationships, the one thing that we should do is we should start with ourselves. It is the self-awareness, you know,
Mm,
finding out the things that we want, discovering things that make us happy, the things that we enjoy, the hobbies, the experiences, etc. And people don't invest that time. Just like I said, the culture dive right in and just keep going. But
yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes you have to take that pause and invest in yourself to identify who am I in this season of my life.
Mm,
Because if you can communicate that to the person that you're inviting into that space, that's your power key right there. Telling them who you are, and
well,
possibly they can love you.
I'm at a space now where I could do that, but a few years ago, I'd have been stumbling around trying to say something that sounds good.
Does not sound good.
Right. I mean,
Ooh, cause believe me, it don't.
you saying that now. So let me tell you this. So a small disclaimer: me and CK have been friends for over 30 years.
Wow, that's great.
It's been a while.
Hmm.
Um, there have been moments to where I attempted without emotional connection. I call her on the phone like, man, I don't know what's going on, but it don't want to work.
Wow.
So and also, anyways, yeah. So you know that's what friends. That's how friends do. That was my
Well,
point.
it's good that she's been a part of your life so long, because then she can go back and reflect on the milestones that you had,
Hey,
so
but she got some
your
too.
growth process.
We both got some.
Yeah,
We're
that's
on this
good
journey
stuff.
together. Yeah.
I
So
love it.
Okay.
Yeah. Another one that I want to give y'all is spiritual intimacy. Because with
Spiritual.
our
Oh,
culture,
yeah,
that's a big one. That
yeah,
that is a big one because that is really for us to get to a place where now we're exploring our beliefs, the things that we value, the experiences that we are having together. So that spiritual intimacy is sometimes the untapped area
Yeah.
that people should lead with right after the emotional part. And sometimes they
Because
need to lead with the spiritual intimacy first.
that's foundational right there.
It is. It's a part
That
of the foundation.
spiritual intimacy. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
and you know, and that's when you start to open the door to things such as praying together,
Mhm.
talking about your spiritual beliefs, however that looks for the individual, and just making sure that y'all are in alignment. Because and the
Mhm.
reason why I say that is because if the spiritual is in alignment, the emotional is in alignment. I mean, there's a different level of centering that you two can accomplish together.
Mhm.
yeah.
So yeah, I love that you pointed that aspect out, that spirit, and that's, to me, at this point in my life now, that's everything to me.
Yeah.
If we don't have that spiritual intimacy, I don't even want to waste my time. Right? And
I'm with you on that one.
yeah,
But we have to have that. I,
gotta
I
have it.
I want, like, the key thing when it comes to intimacy, I want for people to get when they hear it, because they hear intimacy. Intimacy is all about the connection. When you think about intimacy, you need to be thinking about the bond that you're creating and how you're coming together. Literally, it's the closeness. A lot of people don't understand the spirit of oneness in relationships. And you have two unique individuals that are coming together that have never experienced each other. How are
Mm,
you going to get there? It has to go beyond the physical. And so this is where these different levels of intimacy come into place, where you're dealing with the emotions, you're dealing with the intellect, you're dealing with, the spiritual. This is where, like you said, the recipe comes into place, because now we're going to get to a place where we really start understanding each other. And that is going to be how we connect with each other, how we engage with each other on a day-to-day basis.
and what scares me the most about that is the level of vulnerability that it takes.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
about to say that.
That's
Oh, I was about to
that's
say
Hmm.
that.
that's my
Hmm.
pushback when I don't have any other choice. If I want to grow in this space, then I have to be vulnerable. I have to show you things that's uncomfortable, parts of me that may be ugly. And that's why I was like, nah, I'm gonna just sit here and be quiet, because it's, to me, I
But this
understand.
is why the safe space is important
Right.
Yes,
for us in relationships. We have
that
to
part.
master the safe space. In the safe space, I'm not judging you. We are present with each other. I hear you, and whatever we say in this space, I'm not going to use against you. When you create that space where you both can come together and you're nurturing and watering each other in that space, again, that's a power play.
Yeah,
CTK. That's why I call her the intimacy coach.
most definitely, because she's hitting on so much. Because I feel that if you get in or in a relationship
Mhm.
and you can't be naked, and I'm not talking about physically naked,
Come on
I'm
now.
talking about naked with the ugly. I wake up and my hair all over my head. I might got some sleep in my eye, and just be able to be really give you the raw of who
Yeah.
I actually am and what I've been through, then
Mhm.
there's a problem.
Yeah.
Like at that
Yeah.
point, we're just spinning our wheels and waste of time if we can't be at that level with each other.
Mhm.
and
And that's
and
a big
so
part.
in this comment, it's important for us to understand what forms of intimacy fuel us the most, so you are prepared to see those who radiate in a way that will elevate you in mature, productive ways. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Never
love
thought
I
that.
about
can see that's how we that's kind of like social intimacy,
okay.
how we connect with others,
All right.
the
Social.
relationships that we build. Absolutely. Hmm.
Okay. Social.
Yeah. Even beyond, yeah, there's social intimacy too.
I mean, well, because any level of intimacy, I would imagine is going to start socially, and then it may grow to be, you know, into those other aspects, or it's just going to stay social,
Yeah.
right?
I
But
in
go ahead.
that space it's all about your quality interactions that you're having with your partner, but also with other people because we tend to learn from other people. Like we're just not on this journey by ourselves. So
Mhm.
there's definitely wisdom. For example, from my grandparents, child, they listen. They were married for 66 years before my grandmother passed.
Mm.
So when you have that, you want to tap into that wisdom. How did you guys do it? My parents before my dad passed, they were married for over like 37 years. So it's just one of those things that you want to tap into how the staying power. Like how did you do this? Because I know I've seen you guys had moments to where there could have been some what I call heated fellowship because we're not arguing over here. We not we have a healthy conflict,
Heated
and
fellowship.
so yeah, heated fellowship.
All right, write that down.
Right, look, that's the third too, 'cause,
He
look
keeps that
here.
little notepad.
Girl, you know it.
Yeah.
But I do, we do. We have to be in that place for tapping into that and having key people. And even if some people are like, well, I don't have family. But a lot of times it's not the family that you're born to. We've heard that before, right? It is the
Yeah.
family that you're creating. And so
Yes.
we need to learn to tap into that. That's the friends. This is probably some of the coworkers that have now become family, all that kind of stuff. You need to tap into that because those people have lived experience that they're willing to share. They can really, like you said, unlearn those behaviors, things that you thought were good that don't serve you purpose in your season of life. So
So I got to be friendly. Okay, gotcha.
you do have to be friendly, sir.
Yeah.
So, so I can't just keep my one friend that I've been friends with for I don't know. I got okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Huh?
But choose wisely who
Very.
you want to be social with. Because again, this is about the connection that we're creating. We can't connect with anybody, you know.
All right,
So
okay. All right, let's move on.
good stuff. So I really wanted to pinpoint some of those key areas of intimacy. Those are just some examples. It's not an exhaustive list. We can literally go on and on and on. But I just like to encourage people to understand that beyond that, we talk about intimacy. It is about the connection that we create, but it's also about like sometimes you'll see couples are coming together and they're trying to build that connection, and it's about trust. That's why intimacy is so important because it allows for trust building. And in relationships where you have two people that have been hurt, life
Woo.
happens.
Yeah,
And so that's where you can get into that intimate space where you can share your thoughts, your feelings, and create that bond. It's going to enhance the trust if you allow it, in that space.
man, Doc. Yeah, you are correct. It's one time you said something and it stumped me for about 3 months. Like, and we was talking about intimacy, and this was over a year ago, and you talked about intimacy and anger, right? But then you also
Woo.
the silence aspect of it. And I was like, hell no. I was like, man, I was
A lot of people
I,
struggle with that.
I
A
wasn't trying
lot
to hear it.
Look,
struggle.
And
D.
it right. But
Come back to the light.
and that's why we're
Woo.
friends. So that intimacy and anger, and you said just try sitting in silence. And and looking at her. But it wasn't until I was in that position that I got it.
Yeah.
I was like,
And that's the key thing. When he speaks to the one of the most powerful things that I have experienced personally. I don't ever put anyone through anything that I haven't personally tried myself. It has to work. It has to. Like it's done like through experience. And so if you are in a relationship and you have two people that are having conflict, that are constantly talking and they're not getting anywhere, intimacy is also about being quiet, about shutting your mouth,
yep.
getting into each other's presence, looking right here, eye to eye, and touching each other. See, sometimes you can't just look. You got to touch each other in this moment. And so, in this space of intimacy, whether you choose to sit down, knee to knee, hand in hand, and in eye contact, or you choose to stand, you need to be hand in hand. You need to be connected with each other, eye to eye, that contact, and just breathe. Sit in silence, do nothing but feel. Do you? I have had so many broken men and women in that space because now through that connection, tears are rolling like I feel you. You've never felt your partner until you can allow that vulnerable space of silence
I'm
to
sitting here holding
really
back tears
feel
right now.
the connection, to really feel the connection,
Yep.
to really feel it.
Woo. Because I'm glad first, I'm gonna say I'm glad you clarified because you like you have to be touched, you gotta touch it, put your hand. And I'm like, if I'm mad, that might not
It's
sound good. I'm gonna
creating the
need you to
connection.
clarify for some of the people that's out there that might think otherwise. But I'm honestly, and I'm gonna be honest. If I'm
Mhm.
mad, I don't want you to touch me.
I can understand that. But this is where the vulnerability comes into play.
Yep.
This is where you have to deny yourself. When you love someone, even in that space where I'm mad, take that deep breath, sit in silence, because it is not a
Feel
time
a
for you
safe
guys
place.
to talk at each other. All you're gonna get, like if you're angry, all you're gonna be is talking over, talking at, talking over, talking. You're not gonna get anywhere. But in that moment of silence, even if you're mad, it will shift your attitude. I guarantee you that.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, yeah. Trust me, it works.
It will
D, keep
shift
your
it.
tens over there.
And that's why we're friends. Man, what when she told me that, I was like, man, what?
Mhm.
I
It'll shift
promise,
it.
I was not trying to hear a thing until I was in that position.
That's a lot right there. That's
Yeah,
It is a lot, but the
it's
reality
worth
is
it.
that like you want to create those healthy things. You know, we do a lot of stuff for the sake of relationships. And so why not introduce some things that we have not done,
And
you
that's what I
know?
was gonna say. It's worth it, and you're worth it. We're worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
I agree.
deserve to be able to operate in that space. But that's
Hmm.
a space that's that safe and that level of intimacy. We deserve
Oh
it.
yeah. 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 It's a game changer.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yes.
that's a power play for conflict resolution, amongst other things.
that's what it
Yeah.
was. Conflict resolution. That's what.
That's it. How we resolve conflict. Hmm.
All right, let's move on. I don't want to stay here too long.
You look uncomfortable doing a mug. You fidgeting. You
You
all over
know,
He's like,
everywhere.
whoa, I don't like this stuff.
Yeah,
You
he got
know.
to drink some water and turn it and
Oh.
just
man.
moving.
That's because you know I'm a macho man over here.
And
Goddamn.
that's
No,
okay too.
I don't know that.
You know.
I don't.
Whatever. You know more than anybody else. Anyway, let's move on.
So in a space,
Mhm.
where how can you communicate, or what are the best ways to communicate when you expressing want to express to your partner what your intimate needs are?
Mm.
Again, first you have to create the space to even do that. How does your person receive love from you? How they receive love is how they're going to receive, in essence, your sharing. If they are in a place to where they're not talkative, you guys are going to again unlearn some behaviors, find new ways to have conversations. It may be for some people, it has been writing things down, journaling, sharing
Mm-hmm.
notes, doing different things like that. But being creative, and that's another intimacy, creative intimacy, by the way.
Mm.
But being creative, in that space to where, okay, maybe you'll hear me if I write you a love letter.
Mm.
maybe it's not talking to you,
Hmm.
or maybe if I email you, I don't,
Yeah,
something.
those are my
Yeah,
top forms, honestly. It's usually if
yeah,
text or email. And I know at one point in time I did introduce a journal for us to be able to go back and forth with thoughts,
nice.
or maybe something wasn't able to be expressed or it was taken wrong. But to be able to clear the air, because sometimes when you in that mode, you're not hearing the other person.
You're
You're
not.
not being heard,
Hmm.
or it's being taken out of context.
Hmm.
I think the key thing too was that where you said you're in that space, you're not being heard. Um, Another powerful aspect is that if you like you said, if you write an email, or if you send a text, if you write a letter, let them digest that, process it, and then talk about it. Because what you have to get out of the writing is understanding, meaning they need to comprehend exactly what you were writing to them. So I saw that you wrote this. Did you mean this? And you make sure you express it so now you're heard. Yes, I meant it like this. No, I meant it like this. So, because sometimes people will take the information just like we do in conversation, and you'll hear one thing, but out of the other ear, something else came. I was like, that is not what I said. So this is why, even when it comes to communication with couples, I'm always advocating for active listening. We
Mm.
we have to sit in that seat to not respond and be ready to come in and have an opinion off of everything, but to listen so that you can say, okay, what I heard you say was, is did I hear you correctly, or is that what you meant? So now that gives them an opportunity to explain.
Yeah, and
Okay.
not just say the first thing that come to your mind and start being all snappy and stuff. You know how you do, T.
Yeah, very important.
And also, sometimes it depends on what you're trying to convey, the message. Get a little creative.
Mhm.
Like if you know your dude, whatever his favorite meal is, you know, as you're preparing that meal and serving it up, he may be open to receive certain information in a better way.
Absolutely.
So just get
Hmm.
creative. You know how to do it. Come on now.
It's the creativity. I mean, that's a huge part of it. Like you said, it could be, let me just cook this dinner. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna let's go and go to a cooking class. I've done that before. Go to a cooking class, and we know we're gonna prep a dinner, and then we're gonna sit down, and now we're engaging in a conversation. We're connecting like that. Again, do things that help to create connection.
But one thing that I would always share with people and couples, you cannot have a conversation about intimacy right before bed in the bedroom. It's probably not going to go well. If
Mm.
or right,
Don't do
yeah, it's a guarantee. It's going to turn into what we like to eloquently call heated fellowship.
that. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah,
That you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Save the bedroom specifically for the physical intimacy.
agreed.
I can agree with that.
And and push past like any other place, whether it's the house or outside. Yeah, it's open. Like you said, it could be in the kitchen, it can be in the living room, it can be wherever. But that the bedroom save it for that, because when you get to that place, like you said, you don't want to be having a conversation, and then the next thing you know, we're talking about how you're not connecting with this person, and then they're going to be feeling a type of way. And that no, this is not working. You don't do this for me. You don't do no. That's not going to work. So being conscious of that is very important.
Agreed. Okay. All right. I like it. I like it. Any other questions, CK? That was a great question, by the way.
Thank you. I'm processing though.
I bet you are. She on your toes, huh? I told you.
No, I'm loving it because it also lets me know that I'm not as far off as I thought I might have been. Was even
Absolutely.
just going through the journey of healing, and we work in all these avenues and corners, and like she said, the unlearning is, yeah, that's one of the big things, because you're unlearning in every aspect, basically, not only just stuff that you learned growing up, but even in the relationship part, you're having to unlearn old habits, especially after you realize that you have those habits and
Yeah.
those little red flags about yourself. So it's just that process of things really aligning when you're seeing it and you're willing to correct and wanting to work on it and fix it and be better. So that is great. I know for me, one of the things, spaces that we would tend to be in would be introducing different, I'll say different hobbies to the other. So for one, my boyfriend was into walking the trails. And
Okay.
it's like, I ain't walking no trails. It's mosquitoes and bugs. But what
Mouth
the
on.
trails did was opened up a door because not only one, just nature and the trails that we were walking were just really beautiful. So it's that one-on-one time to just to have that part where you can just think and enjoy the view and what's going on in that moment. And then that's that time where we talk about whatever that was on that plate during that walk. And it's
Good
a
stuff.
peaceful connection in a even space to be able to
Good.
do that. Yeah,
Neutral. Very neutral too.
very.
Hmm.
That's good. Yeah. That's real good. Yeah. Because that's the thing, like in when you're again, we talk about the safe space, and I'm really big about creating a safe space. But
Yeah.
in the safe space, it is about having a sense of security for both partners.
Yes.
So if you don't have that sense of security, where like you said, I want to share some things with you, and I don't want to have fear of judgment when I do it. This is why it's very important for us to be creative in how we create those spaces, so that we can block out the noise. It's so much
Mm.
chaos around us, guys. It's
Yes.
so much chaos around us, and we have to be able to find ways when you are loving someone to just steal away and get away and find that quiet time with each other. Again, find that way that you can connect without outside influence.
I want to bring up something that you mentioned not long ago. I don't even know if you remember this, but you talked about commitment reinforcement.
Mm.
Okay.
Commitment reinforcement in the aspect
Hmm.
of intimacy. And when you said it, my stomach almost dropped out of my ass because,
Oh, you was having some serious moments, bro.
well,
Like you.
so let me explain why. Because I deal with abandonment, right? And not
Hmm.
being
We
chosen in a
Hmm.
major way. Anytime
Yeah.
it looks hectic, right? I'm gonna first of all, I'm gonna say I don't want to be in this space because I want you to choose me. Because I want you, which is not fair, but I'm just being honest. So I may
Absolutely.
say, well, maybe we don't need to be together no more. But I don't mean it. I just want you to choose me in that space, or
Hmm. Hmm.
I'll find certain ways to attempt to sabotage it because now this looks familiar, or I'm getting
Hmm.
afraid of this is a level of intimacy that maybe I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
So, and when you talked about that commitment reinforcement, all the
Hmm.
things that I should not do came flooding to my mind.
That's good stuff.
Uh,
Yeah.
you remember that?
Trust me, I do. It's a part of it. So it's
Oh,
like,
okay.
listen, I take notes of things that I talk about, just like you, so I can recall some things. But that's a key thing. Like when you're cultivating intimacy and you're very, like I need to do something different for my relationship, and it is the area of intimacy. Then you will see the results. That's the fruit of it.
Mm-hmm.
The commitment reinforcement is the fruit. It literally says that this is how we work together to create a connection that's going to help us to last, stick and stay.
Yeah.
And we're very intentional about
Yeah.
it. And you don't have to, question whether or not if that person is committed to you, because you already are practicing and applying like the application of the intimacy, so you're already secure in that space.
And
That's
that's
how it reinforces it.
There you go. And that's how we began to feel more and more safe in that space.
Mhm.
Because I don't feel
Mhm.
like because we had some heated fellowship, it does not mean that. Yeah. All right. I just want to.
You take good notes. I'm so proud of you.
I got.
Man, I'm telling you.
You know, I write everything down. I be like, you write
You
that
take
down.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's really really good. Um, one of the things, because with intimacy that couples experience too, is that they're in a relationship, but they feel alone.
Mm,
Ooh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And the reason, because again, we have to look at intimacy is the ultimate area because there are so many levels to it that it helps to fill the void. When you practice this, you put these things in practice, you begin to apply these areas, you will see that okay, where there was a void, now we as partners are like we're happier.
okay.
I don't
Okay.
feel like I'm just a person by, you see what I'm saying? I don't feel like I'm just in this relationship by myself. Sometimes people feel like they have a whole roommate, or just a person that they just are casual with,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not intimate with. And there is a huge difference.
So when you allow them into these different aspects of your life of intimacy, that cup being filled, it's just going to be more impactful and not just
Hmm.
in one particular moment. Like I may feel like I'm happy now because we're out being social, but then when we get home and we have a disagreement, now I feel alone because I don't know how to let you in.
Right.
Mm.
Hmm. That's it.
All right, here we go.
That's it. The loneliness reduction that intimacy, when you practice it, helps with the deep connection
Let me write
that
that
exists.
down too. Loneliness reduction.
Loneliness reduction. You want to create that. You should never be in a relationship to where you guys have had something that's going on, and now, I feel so alone because I can't come and talk to you.
And it also helps because prior, right, we would kind of start off having a discussion and it would may go a certain way, go array, and we would shelve it and never go back to it. So now we have
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
all these things on the shelf that we never really resolved because of not
Hmm.
knowing how to be intimate in certain spaces.
Yeah.
And then you look up and you're in a relationship with a stranger.
Yeah. That's
Ooh.
it. That's how you can be in a whole relationship and be alone for sure. It's not even about loneliness because, like, who is this person?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
All right.
good.
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna say I'm proud of you for your notes over there because you honest, sir.
when am I not? I take great notes.
Yeah, you definitely on. I'm like, okay, well, shoot, I learned a whole lot already tonight.
Well, and that's another reason because if you know Dr. Holly, she will ask you those hard questions and she will ask you, did
Hmm.
you do
Oh
so
well,
you gotta be on it around
it's
her.
all about doing the work.
That
It's
is.
to me, people are like, oh, I just love your smile, and she's so cheery, and I was like, yeah, but when I'm serious in my business, it's something different. I'm serious
Yeah.
about this. I'm serious about relationships, healthy relationships. I am serious about love. And so, literally, when I am talking to people, I can tell when someone is invested and they want to make some changes. I can tell and sense the genuineness simply by the questions that they ask.
Agreed. What you laughing at?
Oh, because she said she could tell by the questions that they ask her.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
seriously, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
That's
think a lot of the exposure has come like through live streaming because
okay.
you get a lot of variety of different people. And I don't go to live stream for to be a therapist. I just go to talk to people. But sometimes in talking to people, you can hear people that want and crave, and then you can hear people that's playing. And it's like,
Agreed.
Mm.
okay, it's a difference. Yeah. So I
Oh,
think
I
the
can,
live
yeah.
stream is sharper. It
I could
sharpens
see
you.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could definitely see that because I think and I'll say just with me and D, um, being as how we grew up, our environments and stuff like that, we didn't see the healthy or a lot of healthy
Mhm.
relationships. It was the crazy. Um, like I tell everybody on here, she probably kill me if I tell somebody for telling people. But like for me, my great grandparents were married literally basically until death do you part. So they got married, old school, got married in their teens, passed away in their
Mhm.
80s. So they were together
Mhm.
forever. You don't see
I believe it.
relationships standing like that no more. And
No.
it's when for instance, my mom was married 6 times. You don't
Wow.
see the
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you don't
Wow.
see that in-house healthy
Mhm.
dynamic, the wife, husband, type things. For me, I always feel like my mom loves the idea of being
That.
married, the idea
Mhm.
of being in love, not the
Yeah.
actual relationship, not the actual marriage.
Mhm.
So growing up like that is like,
Yeah.
and we get our age now in our 40s and we're like, no, we want
Mhm.
that healthy relationship. So when we've been used to this and trying to get to this, all that unlearning really
Yeah.
starts to kick in and you have
Yeah.
these discussions and you're like, oh, so I gotta be touched when I'm mad? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 Put that on my list.
Put that one on your list. Well,
As, yeah,
I love your share. I love your share. What you share.
and it's uncomfortable,
It's
it
very uncomfortable.
because now we're literally learning, retraining our everything that we're accustomed to. We're retraining
Mhm.
everything, our mind, our subconscious mind,
Yeah.
and for me, it's uncomfortable. But I
Growth
understand once
is
I get
uncomfortable.
past, yeah.
Hmm.
But once I get past that initial shock factor, then it
Yeah.
feels great. Like I love it here. I love it in this space of intimacy, and I don't want to operate in any other aspect because I see the difference now.
Yes. It's
But
like the
Nice.
difference between going to a farm and getting fruit versus getting it from the grocery store.
Hmm.
gotcha. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I've shared some of my story with you, Doc, and I always tell you about the one friend that I had. Well, that's the friend that I always talk about. You know,
Okay.
there's
He does always talk about you.
yeah. So a lot of our safe space was with each other when our mom was,
Yeah.
whatever was going on. Not trying to go there, but yeah. So
To be the friend. Be,
mhm.
you know what? That too, even in friendships, because again, relationships are relationships, whether they're platonic or romantic. There's a foundation, and so with it, when we talk about intimacy as well, even when it comes to platonic friendships, it is about having a support system.
Yeah, we yes, yeah, agreed. We
Yes.
actually, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, TK, but we actually, so she was her therapist first, and she referred her to me, and I think she's absolutely amazing. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so agreed that
That's
just
good
having
stuff.
that support system, that's what made me
That's
think about
it.
that. Yeah,
That's it. That's the key. And now you both are strengthened. And this is the thing. You get to a place to where you're strengthened because you're growing by the experiences that you have had in life and you're learning from them. You're not using them as an excuse.
right.
And what that does is it actually says, okay, in different stages of our life, what do we value? What does
Mm,
that look like to us? See? So now when we start talking and having conversation about values and things that how we should be putting value on things. Now we can communicate that, when I was younger, this, but now at this age, I value this, this, that, and the other, and here's the why, and connect those dots. That type of growth and learning is amazing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
So I have definitely have a question.
Okay.
Because I heard this on another podcast and I was like, ooh, um, how can someone that may have been um abused in the three-letter word
Mhm.
Okay.
space be able to be in that, get into that space of intimacy? Because sometimes there's those little things that be like, nope, that you may tend to shy away from because you had that experience in your childhood that you know still kind of be lingering.
You can't make it about the physical. You got to make it about all the other areas. Take physical aspect out. Anytime you have had an experience that has created a trauma like that, then you have to take away the thing that created the trauma, which
Yeah,
is physical. So now that I'm just dealing with the substance of, let's say, intimacy and all the things that go into the recipe, now I'll be able to have an ear to really listen, and my heart can connect with. Because again, when you've gone through these type of traumas, it really is becoming self-aware of the impact and allowing yourself to feel what did that do to you. How, some of, not even just what you feel, but also what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts centered around it, and communicate that. And now deal with the real toughness. How do you want to move forward? Because, see, one thing we can't do is we can't stay stuck there. We
yeah,
have to progressively move. So, in that space of growing, it's like, yes, this happened, but how do I move past this and fill myself with things that are going to allow me to be built up so that I can basically conquer and, be victorious over that. I know that it happened, but I don't have to have that to impact my mind and my heart anymore.
So what I'm hearing is if we're able to implement it in those other aspects, in
Hmm.
the other spaces, the emotional, the
Hmm.
spiritual, and that space has been proven, then it's going to be an easier transition or to
Absolutely.
implement it into whatever space the block is.
Yeah.
Right.
This is
So,
why self awareness is important.
yeah.
Intimacy
definitely.
starts with you. You practice intimacy with you first,
Mhm.
then you apply it.
So you practice intimate with you first. I love
Yep.
it. Self awareness, being self aware. Know thyself.
Know thyself.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay. I
yeah.
almost said something. I'm gonna be nice. All right.
I bet you almost did.
Yeah. This is
Spare
this
me.
is. That's.
She
I'm gonna
said,
say that
spare
for
me.
next week. I'm gonna say that for next week.
Okay.
All right. Okay. What else we got, Doc? What else you want to share?
Oh.
Any other
One
points?
one point I want to, because this is very important, is that in with intimacy, one thing that is key is physical health.
Physical
Mm,
health.
Health, yes, is very important. When you really create the intimate space around there, it promotes like the consciousness that says, I want to be healthy for my person. In addition, when you are intimate with each other, it also can reduce your stress levels. Think about the joy of having someone you enjoy lifing it with, sharing life, sharing experiences with. Think about the joy that you experience just simply just being around them. Yes, it was chaotic. Like we said, the chaos is going. But with them, man, when we get together, we really have a good time. And so just reducing that stress and for your body to, to get to a place of where when you're not stressed and you're eating better, you're more conscious on things, you're building up your immune system a lot. That it impacts our health.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Physical health. And also, if we're if I see you doing what you got to do, because we plan on doing this thing called life for
Mm.
40, 50
Hmm.
years, then subconsciously I feel safe enough to open up because I feel like you're going to be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, physical health. I wrote that down
Yep.
too.
Hmm.
All right.
I love that. I definitely love that.
Yeah.
I think it also builds a level of support,
It does.
where you can support each other. That might be that day you didn't had a rough day. I'm like, nah, I ain't going today. Nope, we said we was going. Come on, let's that go. Sometimes we just need that little extra push once you can go on and got it over with and get back, and you're like, okay, glad we went.
Physical health. Yeah. Okay, I like that. I really like that. I never. That's a new one for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, my thing is, say if my companion is a smoker, we know, of course, that ain't good for you. We all know that go with that. And like she said, if you expecting to do life with somebody, you want that person to be here as long as
Yeah.
possible. So it's like those aspects of things that can make them be gone faster. You would love for them to eliminate that for that longevity.
Yeah. True.
So it's the
So
changing the lifestyle of eating, say working out, not being trying to reduce the stress as much as we
Yeah.
can, and doing the stuff that we need to do, in life, the preventative stuff.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
And see, I get that, and even just thinking about it, almost kind of make me a little anxious. And again, I think it's another one of those spaces to where, like, I'm just scared to get let down. And like if you say we're gonna do this, okay, then if if I speak something, then I stand on it. If it comes out of my mouth, then it's solid. It's rare that I find that quality in somebody else. So
Mm.
that's why, like, in that aspect, like as TK was saying, like starting to work out and stuff, I just feel like, I'd rather do it on my own. I don't even want to, because if you say it and then you don't, it's gonna devastate me.
Yeah.
And I know
So
that's
that's when you
that's
allow your partner to do what they can in their measure.
right,
It
right,
may
right.
not be at the full capacity of what you may be invested in doing, but maybe just like TK said, maybe it is the nature walk. Maybe we do this once a week where we walk together, and this is the contribution that we're going to make to our relationship to promote healthiness.
And that's the
So
importance
doing
of
something
that
is better
clarity.
than nothing. Hmm.
Gotcha. Okay, physical health. Let me circle that and put 2 lines up under. That's the one. That's the one. All right, cool.
Oh man, last big point that I can make too is because we brought up the three-letter word, and it really is about satisfaction when that is a part of it, right? That's the last thing that should be it, right?
Don't want to be let
You
down.
have never been fulfilled the way you will be fulfilled when you practice intimacy. I guarantee you that.
Oh, sure.
That's a check you can take to the bank
So what you're
and make a
saying
big deposit.
is, so what you're saying, let me make sure I heard you right. When you are
Uh-huh.
putting these aspects into place, it's going to
Mhm.
transfer into that
It
space,
does.
and the level of fulfillment is
Oh, the
going to be
fulfillment. That's where it's at.
astronomical. Okay, gotcha.
She
Yep.
said when you put all these ingredients to this cake
I heard what she
together
said. I
and
wanted to
put
say
it
it
in
my
the
way.
oven, and when you take it out, it gonna be damn good and worth it. That what she said.
I like cake. So, Dr.
Yep.
Howley,
Yeah.
tell us about yourself. What you got going on? What's on the agenda? What can we expect?
Oh. Right now, I'm in the process of having so much of my, like my website, just all my different like social media outlets updated. But
Okay, we
beyond
got
that, I had started working on a book for specifically, obviously, for relationships, and then also about a daughter and a dad. I don't want to give too much away about it, but
okay.
two books. And so, and I had to press pause on those, and I'm back focused on them, like almost complete. Those are very critical because when we talk about relationships and evolving, I want to be able to put it out because it's something that is missing. So it'll help to bridge the gap.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Just
A
like
lot
very
of
intimate
times,
conversations like this will be the key.
yes,
definitely.
I agree. A lot of times when it's like a self help book, something like that, and we have to press pause, pay attention to what we're going through in that season. Pay
Yeah,
attention to how our life is
that's the key.
unfolding because it may be a needed lesson chapter. And ask me how I know because I'm in that space myself.
Yeah,
But that's good. I'm here for it. Keep me posted. I'm gonna
yeah,
support you.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So if someone needs to reach out to you, do you have a website or anything like that maybe someone may have questions, maybe whatever the case.
The best place for people to connect with me is going to be on IG.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
is the best. So it will be IG. And then also, if people really want to connect with me offline, they can email me at windocspeaks@gmail.com too. They
Okay.
can do that. They can go. My website is windocspeaks.com. It's being built. They'll be able to go there pretty soon once it's
Okay.
updating and all that kind of stuff. But if you need to reach out to me, you can send an email, but you can also connect with me on Instagram. That is the best place because I have a professional account on that side. So it helps me to manage my
Very
contacts
nice. Very nice.
on that
Okay.
side a lot
Okay.
better.
Well, I am
Hmm.
excited for you, man. I love everything that you got going on. And and I'm gonna tell you, I talk about you all the time. Like,
Yes, he
like
does.
I just love when Doc speaks. Doc has helped me out tremendously. Um,
That does my
and
heart good.
yeah, I appreciate you once again. And we in this thing. All right. Well, TK.
Yes, listen. Thank y'all for creating the space this evening. It's been amazing, and I appreciate the openness and the vulnerability that you both have brought, so that I could share. So
Hmm.
that's a beautiful
Thank
thing.
you for squeezing us in your busy schedule.
Definitely that. Definitely that.
Yeah.
We definitely thank you for being here. And like he said, even squeezing us in. Because he told me he was like, "Hey, she got something. She open for Friday." I was like, "Let's do it, man. We'll push whatever
Hmm.
else back. Let's get it." So,
Yeah,
Catch it
I'm
next week. Ain't no telling where she might be. She might be out the country.
I might.
hey, but look here, ain't nothing
My
wrong
birthday
with
is
being
coming up, so
I
diplomatic,
I
know.
could be anywhere.
and ain't nothing wrong with traveling. Because guess what? At some space in our life, we got to come out of
Mhm.
survival mode and start living.
Yes,
So if
yes,
you
that's
got the
very important.
opportunity, knocks, open the door.
Not
Yes,
just living, thriving. Yeah.
thriving.
And
Yes.
as for me, you can catch me at DJ Uncle Life on all major platforms: Facebook, IG, TikTok, Snap. This, and that. There's some things that I'm working on, so keep y'all eyes and ears open. I appreciate y'all coming through, hanging out with us. And that's all I got. Much love, one love. Holla at your boy. TK, what you got?
Most definitely. So, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. If y'all have not, please like, share, and subscribe. And definitely go on IG and follow Dr. Holly.
When?
Um,
Oh yeah, Dr. Holly. That's right. She switched it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you know what?
No, sorry.
It's
Me
I'll
when
tell you later.
Doc speaks on all platforms.
Yeah,
there
when
you
Doc
go.
Except
speaks.
So
Yeah.
definitely follow because I know y'all got some knowledge tonight and some information. I hope y'all had y'all's trusty pen and paper like D and writing everything down. I was over here writing stuff on my notepad on my phone. So yeah. So Lord, you done gave me a whole Blues Clues vibe.
We just got a letter. We just. Oh, I'm sorry.
So funny.
Blues Clues.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yes, of course. So definitely follow. Like again, appreciate y'all. Definitely appreciate you, Dr. Holly. I definitely got quite a bit of tidbits that I will be working on.
Yeah, good work.
Hopefully, it won't be the mad part, but
Yeah, hopefully not the bad part.
it's on the
I'm there
list.
for it.
I
I
know
hope it is.
somewhere. What you say?
I hope it is. We got to rush. You got to go through it.
I mean, you do, but you don't want to be mad. I ain't trying to be mad, but you know when it come, you know how to handle it. Just
Sure, you're right.
just saying, you got, it's like you packing in your purse. Don't nobody know what's in there, but when you need to, it's ta-da, I got it. And you get your hands like Scandal. So, what I'm saying. So, but again, thank you, Dr. Holly. Again, I can't thank you enough. Oh, did she click off? Oh.
No, she's still there.
I can't thank you enough for definitely the advice and everything. We are going to close for tonight. We thank y'all again for tuning in. If you caught in on the last part, go back and rewatch it because it is available for you to do so. So y'all be safe because y'all know COVID numbers is going back up. Election is coming up.
I'm gonna be busy.
Yes, we know you're gonna be busy. So yes, but definitely, and y'all just definitely be safe. Thank y'all again. Y'all have a great night. We out.
Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this. Don't talk about it. Really on the move.